If you're thinking about moving to San Diego, I want to help guide you to the best school districts in San Diego County. Hey, it's Kyle Whistle, your guide to living in San Diego. Today, I want to share a little bit more about schools here in San Diego County. I've got a 5-year-old daughter myself, hoping to have more kids in the future, and I know as a parent that schools are very, very important. When making a decision on where you want to live within San Diego, this is something that you're probably going to want to take into consideration. You don't want to have this gorgeous, amazing house, but then send your kid to a school where they're not going to learn anything, or they're not going to be prepared for college, or it's not going to have the environment or the vibe that you're looking for. So very, very important when you're factoring in where do you want to live to factor in what are the schools like in that area. And you're going to want to factor in that school ratings tend to correlate a lot with property values. So when you move into a neighborhood that has higher school ratings, you tend to have higher home values. When you move into a neighborhood that has lower school ratings, you're naturally going to have lower home values a lot of times. So definitely an important part of the decision you're going to make when you're moving here to San Diego County. There's 2 primary websites out there when you're looking at home values that you're going to come across when you're doing your research. The one that's most common that we see out there is greatschools.org. One of the reasons a lot of people like to use Great Schools, just speaking as like a tech guy, because I'm kind of a tech nerd, one of the reasons a lot of people use it is it's very easy for websites to integrate data from Great Schools onto their website. So sometimes people just use that out of pure convenience, not necessarily because they think it's the best rating system out there. It's more of a convenience thing. Great Schools is good, but if you pop on their website, check out how they factor in their ratings, the majority of the information on there about how they come up with their ratings is really based off of things like test scores and academic improvement. But it doesn't take into account a lot of other things that are part of the whole school experience. As a result, we like to focus on niche.com. Niche.com factors in a lot of different things. They're going to factor not only grades, they're going to factor in the teachers, but they're going to factor in culture and diversity. They're going to factor in sports programs. They're going to factor in clubs, activities, all kinds of different things that come along with the overall school experience. Because let's be honest, it's not just about the grades, it's about the experience as a whole. So when we're looking at this data, we love to use niche.com. That's one of our favorites, and they rate things rather than on a scale of 0 to 10. They rate them on more of a traditional academic scale of A through F. So when we look at these, or when you're looking at where you want to live, make sure to pop on there, check out niche.com. So you're going to get great stuff on there. And the thing that I still like to look at greatschools.org for is there's reviews from parents on there, which that could be very helpful because, again, their rating is purely based off of test scores and a couple other little factors. But the reviews are always going to be valuable. It's nice to know what other parents are experiencing there. Just like anything though, whether it's a restaurant review, a school review, or anything along those lines, realize there's going to be some Karens out there. You know what I'm talking about when I say Karens, right? There's just going to be that salty person that just likes to complain. So don't just factor in 1 or 2 reviews that are negative. If you see 5 or 10 reviews that all say the same thing, where there's smoke, there's fire. But just rule out, right? Just like when we look at home values, we look at the median, the middle. We throw the highs out, we throw the lows out. What does it look like right here in the middle? Do that same thing when you're looking at, the actual reviews from parents. Look at what are the majority of the parents saying. What's the overall majority? Not what are the outliers, the people that are, bouncing off the walls about how great it is, or the ones that are putting it down to the floor. Look in the middle. What's the consistent things that you're going to see when you look at those ratings? So Great Schools, good. Niche, we think a little bit better, just because it's a little bit more all-encompassing. So let's talk about the 5 highest rated school districts in San Diego. Now, understand we're looking at the overall districts. So within a district, you could have some highly rated schools and you could have some very low rated schools. So factor that in. That's not saying that you have to be in one of these 5 areas to get a good school. There's good schools in all school districts, but as a whole, when we look at the entire body of all schools, this is going to encompass elementary, middle school, and high school. That's what these ratings are factoring in, is all of the schools within that district combined. So don't think you have to live in one of these school districts. Just know that in general, these school districts are the highest rated. So let's get into it. We've talked a lot about what goes into these ratings. Now let's talk about the ratings. So coming in at number 5 on the list is San Marcos Unified School District. San Marcos, to me, is one of those hidden gems in San Diego. It's one of those places where you can get very good schools. Obviously, they're number 5 on the list. So you're going to get a good quality education, a good learning environment for your kids when you move into San Marcos. And the other thing that's great about San Marcos is price-wise, if you're thinking about buying or renting, you've still got pretty reasonable rents in that area, pretty reasonable home prices relative to the quality of the schools that you're going to get. So San Marcos is an absolutely great place. Lots of fun things to do in San Marcos. You got Lake San Marcos, one of the few places in San Diego. It's a private lake with little docks on it. You can't have a big motorboat. You're not going wake surfing or anything on there. But you can have a fun little pontoon boat and go cruise around with your friends and your family. Lots of good golf courses in San Marcos, and you have one of the major universities in San Diego County in Cal State University, San Marcos. That school is exploding. I just drove by there this weekend, and there's new buildings going up everywhere. So between buildings for the campus, between housing, between just fun activities, they just built a new rock climbing gym there. So super cool place. San Marcos Unified School District coming in at number 5 on the list. Coming in at number 4 on the list, this is Carlsbad Unified School District. Carlsbad would be considered North County here in San Diego, and it would be of the coastal variety. So within San Diego, we have a few different regions, North County being one of those regions, and then we split North County into 2. You have coastal, which is naturally by the coast, and an inland, which is where I actually live myself. So Carlsbad, amazing place, coming in at number 4 on the list. Carlsbad is a fantastic community. You're obviously right by the water. Carlsbad has one of the nicest beaches in all of San Diego. You've got a couple lagoons that cut in Carlsbad as well. You've got things like Legoland, great place to take the kids. You've got the flower fields. If you've never been to San Diego before, you come in the springtime. The Carlsbad flower fields is just amazing. It's like acres and acres of flowers planted. Super, super pretty. You can go for a little ride around in a tractor, check out all the flowers. Very, very cool place to live. And you've got some pretty awesome schools in Carlsbad. So definitely check that out. Number 4 on the list. Let's move on to number 3 on the list. That is Poway Unified School District. That's actually where I live myself. Poway is one of those places within San Diego County that is just synonymous with good quality schools. As a whole, you've got a ton of schools within Poway. It's one of the larger school districts in the county of San Diego. And you've got amazing schools in Poway. This spreads across not only the city of Poway, but it covers areas like Del Sur, 4S Ranch, Rancho Penasquitos, Scripps Ranch. So it covers a big area of San Diego. So when you hear Poway, it's not only Poway, it's all of the areas around Poway as well. Poway, amazing place to live. Again, that's where I've chosen personally to live. They are known as the city and the country. And so you kind of got this cool like city country vibe mixed together. So for us, we love horses. We live out there. There's horse trails all around. There's tons of hiking. There's a Lake Poway, where you can go fishing. There's this cool little Old Town Poway Park where there's an old train station. You can still go ride around on a train. Super fun place with kids. And there's all kinds of activities going on in Poway. There's street fairs and parades and movies at the lake and concerts at the park and all of that fun stuff. So great place to raise a family and some of the best schools in San Diego County. Number 2 on the list, you've got Coronado Unified School District. Coronado, if you've ever flown into San Diego, when you're flying in, fun fact, when you fly into San Diego, you always want to make sure you sit on the window on the left side of the plane so you get to take in the view. Because when you are flying into San Diego, it is one of the most beautiful cities in the world to fly into. Because now when you're flying in, off to the left, you just get to see all the high rises that make up downtown San Diego. You get to see the ocean, the bay, and a little island, which is Coronado Island here in San Diego. A really cool bridge that spans from downtown San Diego over to Coronado Island. This is a fantastic place to live. Some of the nicest, most expensive real estate in the country is going to be there in Coronado. You've got some amazing beachfront homes. But you also got some apartments, you've got condos, you got a mix of everything. Within Coronado, you've got a really cool place called the Cays, which is another one of the few places in San Diego County you can actually have a dock. So you got a boat, you like to get out on the ocean, Coronado Cays is a pretty cool place to live. So you can take your boat, just walk out your backyard, your boat's sitting there waiting for you. You could cruise around the bay in a Duffy, whatever you're into. Coronado, great place to live. You got the Hotel Del Coronado there, tons of great shops, restaurants, very fun place to live. And you've got some really good schools. Now, Coronado is an island, so this is one of the smaller school districts on the list today. In fact, of the top 5, this is the smallest by a pretty substantial margin. So you're on an island, naturally not a lot of people. So we only have a few schools on Coronado, but basically every school on Coronado is of the highest caliber. So definitely check that out. Coming in at number 1 on the list, you've got San Dieguito Unified School District. So San Dieguito, this is one of those that encompasses quite a few different areas within the county of San Diego. This would be of the North County North County coastal variety. So this is going to cover areas like Carmel Valley, Del Mar, Solana Beach, Leucadia, Encinitas, Rancho Santa Fe, Fairbanks Ranch, some of those areas. Many of these areas are typically referred to as the most affluent parts of San Diego County because you've got amazing coastal real estate, you've got amazing schools, you've got, some of these areas, Rancho Santa Fe, you've got houses that are, north of 5, 10, 15,000 square foot houses on acreage with animals. So you've got some really cool stuff there. But then you've got some cool coastal communities like Solana Beach and Encinitas, which of all of coastal San Diego are some of those more like kind of just laid back surfer kind of vibes there. So San Dieguito covers a huge part of San Diego. It's the majority of North County coastal San Diego, and you just got good schools all over the place there. So, you go that route, you're going to pay a little bit more money, whether you're renting or owning there. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. You get great coastal living. You get a great education for your kids, you get good safety ratings. That's a pretty darn desirable place to live. So, if that fits your budget, that might be the direction you want to go. But you look at this list of 5, you've got a wide range. You've got areas that are a little bit lesser expensive, things like Poway and San Marcos, which are going to be on the lower end of the price scale here in San Diego. Then you get up into the San Dieguito, Coronado, and Carlsbad areas, which are going to be a little bit more on the pricey end. But either way, there's something for everybody here in San Diego, whether it be the quality of the school, the price point, the lifestyle. San Diego's got you covered. That's why San Diego is known as America's finest city. With that said, I hope you got a lot of value today out of this episode. If you want to dive into these ratings a little bit more, again, you can go to niche.com. You can check that out. You can go to gradeschools.org. You can check that out. Lots of great information on there that are going to really help you make an educated decision on where you want to live here in San Diego. If you're thinking about moving to San Diego or moving around inside of San Diego, we'd love to be that guide to help make it happen for you. Feel free to reach out at the phone number down below. We would love to be that guide to help you living in San Diego. I'm Kyle Whistle with Whistle Realty Group. Thanks for watching.